from Canada to Uganda, and they have called me after one meeting and they say, we are on the plane back to Uganda. I mean, back to Canada. Because of those other indices that I've talked about. We do have a long way to go to clean up our image. Now, this is not to say that businesses cannot happen in Uganda, but remember the start I said, the trade deficit between Canada and Uganda. And this, we have countries that have really embraced the diaspora and have embraced encouraging, because the reason I go back to the diaspora is the best. I mean, people will not easily come to the embassy because of various reasons, and companies will more likely come to the chambers of business. And the chambers of businesses have this array of other 50-something countries in Africa to send business. I myself have a project running right now in Tanzania. I have a project running in Ghana. So we need to work on those, and this is not a fix that we cannot go to the doctor and get a shot in the hand and fix it. There's a term in Uganda that I'll use, and it says, I mean, like I don't want to translate it in English, but maybe I can. But it says, nanyini mufu yakwata awawunya. We ourselves as Ugandans have to solve this. There is no angel that is going to come out of anywhere to help us fix it. We have to fix it, one conversation at a time. Thank you, Ronnie, for bringing that up. I had left it out. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, High Commission, and the open channels of communication that we can all use to change the image of what we have. And that's why we are not able to, we have some good opportunities that have been sitting waiting for investment that haven't come. That's where our diaspora investment bond will be, because it will be managed by us. And maybe alleviate some of those problems. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Susan. I will go, because we need to be closing up the session. I know it's very hot now, but another round of questions, and I see a question here. The gentleman who is helping me with the microphone, kindly, Pastor Eddie Jumba has a question here. Any other person with a question? Okay, I see another hand over there, another hand over there. My co-MC, yeah? You see those hands? Kindly. Yes, Pastor Eddie Jumba.
Thank you very much, Ambrose. You're doing an excellent job, by the way. Yes, my name is Eddie. I do have a question and a comment. The first, I'm going to do the question. I think this, and correct me if I'm wrong about the name, but I think it's Gloria who spoke about repatriation of remains. Was that correct? Okay, Gloria, so my question for you, I feel weird that I'm talking to Gloria who is behind me, so I'm going to do this.
Kindly.
Yeah, I was told it's disrespectful in my culture to talk to people when you're not looking at them. So my question is, Gloria, I've had two experiences. First of all, as a pastor, where I have to work with people that are in the process of repatriating their loved ones' remains. Now, I've had a really smooth experience, and I've had a really, really difficult experience. And in both, the embassy was involved. In the first one, things moved super quick, and I was so moved by how it was very helpful. Now, in times like these, people share things with me that they would not share with anyone. In the experience that was difficult, there was something about the embassy and the communication that just could not come through and took weeks and weeks. I actually attempted to call you, and I didn't get a response back. Could you speak to us about the process, even if you take 1 minute with it, so that the people here, beyond what I know, so people can hear for themselves what they need to do right away when somebody has died and they want to repatriate their loved ones to Uganda? That's my first question. My second question goes to, I think it's going to go to my president. Actually, for me, when I say, when I call my ambassador my president, I actually mean it. Sometimes we take it lightly. We don't realize the authority and the power that our ambassador has. She's really the president as far as Canada is concerned, as far as Uganda is concerned. So, and for me, I treat her that way. That's why I am troubled by some who would sometimes almost get close to the word disrespecting. I struggle with that when people disrespect people in authority. Here is my question. Last year, maybe a few years ago, when the speaker, the honorable speaker was speaking, she actually quoted the numbers that Susan was quoting here. The amount of money that the people in the diaspora contribute to the economy of Uganda. And here is my question, or even a comment, or a request, that when people stand here and they talk about what can we as the government do to invest in the people that are here, we are not begging. The people that are actually here are very, very hardworking. And we know that from the amount of money that every year it gets quoted. Every year in something like this, that amount is quoted. So if the government can take a step back and really think about investing in the people that are here, essentially, that government is investing in Uganda. This 1.4 billion might multiply in big ways when the people that are here are facilitated somehow. And for me, the community center example is just a simple example of how the people here can be attended to. We are frontline workers in so many ways. I just want to, I don't know if the question is clear. What can the government do to invest? So we're not begging. It's an investment to invest in the people that are here so that they can contribute even more. My last one, this one is coming from my heart, not from my head. And usually when things come from the heart, they are as real can get. And this one, I think, my sister, is it Helen? Yes, this one goes to you. So first, I thank you for reminding us that Uganda is a beautiful place. I am in total agreement with you, no matter what people say. It's a beautiful country, it's a beautiful place. But when you say in the same breath that everything is good, I really sincerely struggle with a statement like that. And I wonder where you're watching from, because my dad used to say, but I'm wondering where you're standing as to watch, to be okay with making a statement such as everything is good. I could not even make that statement about Canada or any country in the world. And I wonder how you reconcile the corruption index that my sister just educated me about, yeah, with a statement such as everything in Uganda is good. That is from my heart to yours, with utmost respect. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Pastor. I will request my co-MC to give the microphone to the lady over there. I saw her hand over there. Yes, please.
You did. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It definitely is a pleasure to be here. My name is Anne Clark. My question is for Madam Namulundwa. My friend Susan. Oh, I am not of Ugandan origin. I'm a friend of Uganda. I am originally from Trinidad in the Caribbean, but I have lived outside of that country much more.
A hand of applause for Trinidad, please. Thank you.
I was really fascinated by the way you did the calculations and where you thought that money would be going. Could you tell us a little bit more about the housing that you were referring to? You know, we've had the realtors talk about residences and looking at building commercial enterprises eventually, which is like amazing, which is excellent. There's a lot of growth to happen. So could you just tell us a little bit about how you envision that money being spent and where? I appreciate when you talk about housing.
Thank you,
friend. I also had one other question, but I don't think that the person is here. This was for the designer. She might have gone, so I'll hold off.
Salome. Yeah.
Salome. I could talk with her about it after. And then, of course, Mr. Moderator, I was curious about all those old people you were talking about. If you could tell us a little bit more about who are those old people that you're going to stick into a home that you're going to when they come to Canada. I was just a little bit curious about that part. But
All right.
seeing that I'm 74, and I wondered whether you want to stick me, and I could actually go all the way down still into that hole.
Definitely. And I will request the pastor to be ready to respond to that question, please.
I could talk to you after. It was just an academic question. How did you move from biology to design? I'm fascinated by it. That was all.
All right. You will, Salome, I'll call you to answer that. Thank you so very much for those two good questions. We will get one more question, and then we get the respondents to answer to that. As we are towards winding up the Q&A session, kindly, Jeff, prepare to come and... okay, so let's have the final round. Her and the gentleman over here and the gentleman over there, and we call it Dan. Kindly, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Roslyn. My one question is it is 3 in 1. My first question is to the organizers of this event. I appreciate you so much for putting this together for us. I'm wondering, Mr. Ronnie Mayanja and all the leaders here, how can we make this a national event instead of just the people in Toronto? And what can you do to unite us so that Ugandans find the importance of coming here and being a part of this? My second question is to the Honorable Ambassador. I have made calls to the embassy a number of times. Nobody calls me back, no response. I've written emails and nobody responds. Right now, my daughter asked me, who is the ambassador? What is she? And to that, I don't know whether it's a problem of civic education or we have not done a good job of telling them how we are here, who represents us. But I had to define who the ambassador is and everything. But personally, over the years, I've had an issue, an ongoing issue, and I've called my embassy about it, and nobody calls me back. And I'm wondering, do I really have a representative here? My other question is to World Remit. Sorry, I had to take the chance to ask everything. There's an issue of sending money to Uganda. There's always that little balance, and I know that little by little adds up. The banks and the small agencies that receive our money benefit because of the exchange rate. There's always 5,000, 3,000, or that change that they can't give you back. What are you doing about that? Can we have accounts so that if I have a small amount that cannot be given to me because that currency doesn't exist, it can be put to my account so that next time I have a little balance, it adds up and I get my money back instead of it benefiting the people that receive my money? Can that be done? Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Roslyn. I will request every person asking to kindly keep it short and precise such that we can, close off this conversion. Yeah, so I saw a hand over there. My co-MC. Okay, go ahead. Ask your question, please.
Praise God. God is good.
All the time.
I just want to remind you that we stand for God and our country. So, on such a day, it is important to know who we are, and I thank people who have spoken first and speak about Uganda. Clap for yourselves.
That's a request. All right, go ahead, please.
But I would like this is not a question, it's a take home to reflect on the effects.
Kindly keep it short, please.
On the effects of immigration to the country Uganda, or to the independence we should have celebrated today. Reflect on the effects, the negative effects of human trafficking, on the negative effects of taking bunches of donations from IMF, World Bank, and where that money really goes. I would like you to reflect on our real image. Next year, it will be 50 years since Idi Amin expelled the Asians, and we are following that trend. For the Asians, they were expelled, but for us, we flee ourselves looking for protection. I would like you to reflect upon those issues. My president, the ambassador, I want to inform you that where you are, people think that it is an NRM event. So there are many people who just fear to be where you are. And I'm reporting that. So I call upon you to clean your image and
Thank you. Kindly keep
and
it short.
all members should be welcome to come and listen to these wonderful messages from immigration, from the potential we can really do and do together as a community.
Thank you.
I'll stop on one point to encourage all of us to build a community center for the Ugandans in Canada. I think to my research as a person who's concerned with the community, who's engaged with the community, I think Ugandans are lagging behind. So, from this note, from this meeting here, let us meditate on realizing the real independence. My name is Samuel Kisitu. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Samuel Kisitu. Co-MC, there is this question here, the final question, and we have the respondents. Yeah, there's a question over there. Okay. I will take them. The fact that you requested me to take them, co-MC, I'll surely take those questions. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. I want to make it quick. And my question, my name is Sentamu Charles, and I reside in Toronto. But one of my concerns is about, all my question is going to the immigration Uganda. And sorry, I did attend the first session when the immigration had their presentation. But in accordance to the Constitution of Uganda, Article 19 says that the citizenship by default, that every person who, on commencement of the 1995 Constitution, was a citizen of Uganda and shall continue to be as a citizen. But when you go in the Article 14 of the Constitution, it talks about the different grounds on how somebody is deprived of being a citizen. And that is when somebody voluntarily acquires citizenship in another country by registration. But of recent, I've been reading on different platforms, and I've been hearing lots of information on how each and every Ugandan who is in any other part of the world is going to lose their citizenship. And this got me so concerned, and I had to come over here and have substantial information from the immigration itself, immigration Uganda. Again, there is the Uganda Citizenship and Immigration Control Amendment Act of 1929. Okay.
Charles, can you pass on the question kindly, quickly?
Okay. So how is the immigration Uganda going to make it easy for us to acquire our dual citizenship in Canada without going back to Uganda, given the fact that even the High Commission in Ottawa, there are lots of challenges even having access to them? How is it going to be made easy for us, especially when we acquire our citizenship in Canada? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Charles, for such a great question. And finally, yes, please.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the organizers of this event. My name is Balam Barugahara. I'm here as a guest. I requested the organizer to allow me to attend this event. I would like, first of all, to thank Her Excellency, the Ugandan High Commissioner to Canada, and the other ambassadors present for allowing to meet you and allowing to be part of you. I would like to encourage Her Excellency and even you Ugandans to find time always, monthly, whenever you can, to drive down to the embassy so that she can listen out to you. So many ambassadors, where we go, don't have time for their citizens. So it's nice that ambassadors sat here, and I felt concerned. Madame raised an issue where she calls the embassy, and they don't revert to her. It's quite unfortunate. Probably they are less staffed, but embassy should be responding to your calls. Even I see a big power like the USA, when you go to American embassy in Kampala, they'll tell you today we are meeting citizens. So citizens are a priority. So just mind fences, get closer, but I know her as one of the most hardworking ambassadors. Then I also want to thank the governments that have supported Uganda. As a businessman, we've been locked out due to COVID. One of my businesses is entertainment. We haven't performed for 2 years. The American embassy, the American government has so far provided us 2.1 million doses. They first provided AstraZeneca, 500,000 doses. Then recently, 2 weeks ago, they gave us Pfizer, 1.6 million doses. So I had one of the speakers asking, Joe Biden asking Ambassador Katende for aid. I think maybe he didn't know that these governments indeed are giving us. And hopefully the ambassador, High Commissioner, I'm sure she must be working out something to see that the Canadian government provides us with some vaccine as well. So far, Ugandans, you need to tell your people back home that the only way they can open the economy, they will listen to you because they are not listening to the government. We have vaccines available, though they are donations, most of it, but they are not taking the vaccine. So they have refused to take the vaccine. So let your people know back home that vaccines is the only way. They allowed you guys to work. I went to a restaurant in one of those buildings. They told me, show us proof of vaccination before you access a restaurant. But your relatives in Kampala, you have stubbornly refused to take vaccines.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Then lastly, I would like to encourage you to come back home. I'm not speaking on behalf of government, but as a private investor.
Entrepreneur.
Please come back home.
Thank you so very much.
We have so many opportunities. I had one of our, you have already an attaché in charge of tourism. Recently, Uganda Wildlife Authority advertised places to develop in the national parks. Make a team as Ugandans in Canada. Take over one of those lodges. Go and develop those lodges as Ugandans living in Canada. It doesn't take so much money to develop a lodge, 20 rooms lodge, but you can make money because you'll get Canadians who want to visit Uganda, sleep in those lodges. And then you'll earn money. Start a circle. Ronnie and Jeff, I saw the president in Dubai the other day. He donated 100,000 for a circle in Dubai and 50,000 to Ugandan community to solve their simpler problems. You can do a similar thing as Canadians living as Ugandans living in Canada. The ambassador can help you have that arranged. And finally, I want to encourage you to unite. For instance, today, we have 4 functions. Why would you have 4 functions? A boat cruise, a concert, then you have a convention, which is very important. The Directorate of Immigration sponsored someone to come. I'm sure they don't put in less than $10,000 to have an officer from government to come. But how will officer attend a wedding, a boat cruise, a Diawa's performance? Sit together as Ugandans living in Canada and have one day for having all this. Imagine you have a bigger hall and you're all here.
Thank you so very much.
Because you'd have this meeting this morning, you go for a boat cruise at 2 o'clock, you do Miss Uganda in the evening in one location. You may be different shareholders, but this has happened in America. We have only 2 conventions. 2 conventions, 2 days. 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 We had one of Mr. Muanga, which was in Miami, and there's another one which was in Ohio. But again, that also came about due to disagreements on sharing. It became an enterprise. You can still do your business, and the ambassador will be able to help you get funding from government. This is your money, because you send remittance. Every money you send government earns some money. So you'd be getting some of that money to invest into your event. Imagine you get $100,000 for this event. Ambassador will be seated there and will be cutting cakes as of today. But now, what can she provide? You are an organization organizing a trade expo where investors have come in. They're telling you the different packages. Post Bank, they're giving you a package. We can give you a loan. There's a constructor, 2 constructors, who are telling you the available houses for sale. But others are attending Ediawe. Others are attending swimming. Others are going for boat cruise. Please unite. That's my advice to you. And it is very, very possible. Madam Ambassador should encourage my brothers and sisters in Canada that you were appointed by NRM government. Remind them that you serve the interest of the government and Uganda, and of which the current government is NRM. I don't think you are discriminatory. I don't. Just like I tell you people, send me, ask me for anything. I'll help you as a Ugandan, as an entrepreneur. So I'm not here on behalf of NRM, but then I recognize NRM as the leading government and the government in power. So I will work with it to promote our own interests, also to promote the interests of Uganda. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. That was the final question, and we'll have the respondents. The first question was directed to Gloria about repatriation. Kindly, Gloria, come and respond to that, as well as you prepare to the Your Excellency, sorry. You also prepare your question that was directed to you by Pastor. And another question was directed to Helen, still by Pastor, also prepare. Thereafter, we shall have Susan respond to Anne Clark's question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm responding to Reverend Jumba. Repatriations have been going on. Some have been smooth, like you said, and some have been very slow. But with the current pandemic, there are so many stakeholders. For the mission to issue a letter of no objection, we have to go through Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which you write to request for this repatriation. Then there is Ministry of Works, there's Ministry of Health, and also some funeral directors take time to process these documents in Canada. For example, I know there is a body that is still here in Toronto. It has really taken long, but they didn't provide us with flight details in time, and they needed a travel document. We managed to conclude this process by, I think that was Wednesday, and by the time the travel document reached them, I think it was a bit late for today's flight. So sometimes it's also the processing of these documents in Canada, like the death certificates. There was some holiday that time, and they could not release it. So it's a process that has been delayed due to the current pandemic, and it's just unfortunate for this particular one. Then allow me to answer the last question still from about immigration. I didn't get your name, sir.
Charles.
But I know, Charles, you belong to one of the indigenous communities in Uganda. No one has a right to take away that. You are an indigenous Ugandan, and we cannot take away that right from you. And I know there is a lot going on about how there is revocation of citizenship. You didn't acquire this citizenship. You are an indigenous Ugandan. That's why we encourage you, please apply for dual citizenship. We have expedited for the Ugandans here, reduced the fee. Please apply for dual citizenship for smooth movement in and out of Uganda. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Gloria. I will call upon Your Excellency to come and respond to Pastor Eddie Jumba's question, but at the same time, you also respond to Rosalind's question. Your platform is yours, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much for the questions and concerns raised. It makes me feel really that we are challenged. And we take the challenge. I want to start by answering the question raised by my senior brother. He's young, but I call him senior because, again, he's my spiritual father. Asking that from their contribution, first of all, we recognize and we appreciate the contribution that you make back home. How do we invest in you? I'm also asking you the same question, that how do you want us to invest in you? How do you want us to help you? We've come here to serve you. If you can come up with something, the way my brother Balaam said, we can work it together with our government to make sure that we invest in you. We support you, but however, if there's any business, my sister Susan is that people go through. But I would still request that, please, the embassy here is for you. Don't go and start doing something in Uganda. Then when you get stuck from there, then you start lamentating when we are not even aware that you're stuck in Kampala. That one now brings me also to answer the question which was, or a concern raised, that most people here feel that the event attended by Ambassador, it is an NRM event. Before I joined diplomacy, I was a member of parliament from Kwale District, Northern Uganda, and UPC. And no single day have I declared that I have left my party. But NRM government accepted to work with anyone regardless of the political background to serve Uganda. That's why I'm UPC, but serving under the leadership of NRM. A leader must serve our people. There is no embassy in Ottawa or in Canada here which is called NRM embassy. It is Uganda embassy. And it is for Ugandans here. It is so unfortunate that my sister called several times and she did not get response to her call. I want to apologize. And that is one of its most unfortunate situation, because we try as much as possible to pick your calls. We got somehow interrupted during COVID when everything was locked down. But still, I moved a step ahead and gave my personal cell phone number. I speak with people in the diaspora. Even if you call me at 3 a.m., I'll pick your call and speak to you as your ambassador. And I've helped me. This is... Could it be that the email you're sending to, sometimes back we changed the email. We apologize for going to the wrong number, because we've realized that our office numbers, it is only one working, but when you look at the embassy side, you see 3 lines, but the 2 of them are not connected by Rogers, but we are working to fix that. So before I leave here, I'm going to give you the exact, the right email address that you should be sending your issues to, the official telephone number, and my personal telephone number. Feel free to call me anytime. I am you. Whether you're NRM, whether you're People Power, we are people of Uganda. I'll also request my immigration attaché, because most of the issues that the diaspora community are facing is immigration related. Gloria, I request that I also share with you permission, I share your personal cell phone number. Because maybe most of the time you're not on the official telephone waiting for the incoming calls. Another thing I've forgotten to... there was a request from my brother, Balam, that are we doing something on... could we be doing something on COVID situation if we can get some vaccines? Recently, under our group of African Diplomatic Corps, we lobbied 370 million, which government of Canada gave, but it was given through COVAX. So Uganda is among the beneficiaries. So we just have to follow a few things to ensure that we get these vaccines to Uganda. My brother, Mr. Mawa, spoke about their efforts to make sure that they raise some oxygen cylinders to take back home to help people, and also request for support from the government of Canada. I signed a letter myself when they requested that they needed our support from the embassy. Let's be united. Every time I come here, I find like 2 or 3 conferences to attend. If we are not united, we may not achieve anything here. I was saying, when you requested the letter to send to the government of Canada, I signed it. Correct? Correct. Yes.
Yeah, and that letter ended up with the Prime Minister's office and others, to make sure something is done.
Thank you. So we're working for you, we're working with you. Any support needed, I still pledge. I'm going to leave the telephone contacts to our handsome, unmarried.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, for those well-elaborated answers. We will go to the next question. Susan, kindly come and take the platform. We're rounding up, so Susan, kindly come in 1 minute, answer Anne Clark, and thereafter, I think those are, that's it. Susan, that's Susan, and then later on I'll tell us what's next. Kindly. Helen had a question, but it was on her heart. It was sending to you. It wasn't a question. Was it a question? Oh, all right. Because of time, I will request Pastor and Helen, just you meet and exchange those hearts. But for now, allow me to give the platform to Susan. Kindly. In 1 minute, please, Helen. Kindly.
Yes,
Thank you a lot.
1 minute is that she asked me to say that it's unfortunate that the narrative of Uganda is told by other people, not by Ugandans. Uganda is okay. I repeat that we are okay. Everything is super good. And I would like to also say that she mentioned doing business in Uganda, that we are whatever number. But even the World Bank suspended those reports. They are no longer issuing those reports because the data apparently is forged. So we should take cognizance of such things. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. After Susan, I will welcome my boss for today, none other than Ronnie, to come and wrap up. And thereafter, I will send us off. Thank you so very much, Susan.
Thank you, and thank you for the question. And so the vision for the diaspora contributions and the diaspora fund is for it to be managed as an investment fund. So in the diaspora, we have financial folks. We will work with the banks. We will work with besides the 1,500, The next call down will be for 150 who will work out the logistics of the investment firm, how the money is invested, how we make decisions on what projects to invest in to empower the businesses in Uganda or the diaspora generated ideas that need this funding to grow the businesses. Besides the 150 will go down to the 15 who will do the steering committee. So using the example of the housing folks here, how cool would it be if, as our steering committee said, we are going to get a project funded directly from this investment firm, which then we can use some of those houses to deal with women and children that don't have places to go, work with initiatives like Pastors Shelter, both here but also at home, because we know that most need is at home than even here. So
all the speakers. I would like to thank our sponsor, platinum sponsor of the day, World Remit, made this possible. They paid for our breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. They were able to pay for our dinner. So I encourage you to come tomorrow and be part of this as we recognize and honor Shaka and then Dr. Lumumba. I want to answer the lady who asked a question, and that's why I came here, and Jeff is going to come shortly and wrap this up. I'm a man of vision. When I started doing this, believe it or not, I was a board member for UNA. I had told them countless times we needed to bring the convention to Canada. As a board member elected twice, first in San Francisco and then Chicago, they told me we couldn't cross the border because a lot of our Ugandan community members were undocumented. So in 2012, I had a vision, and I started the Uganda-Canada Convention. I reached out to a friend. His name was Justus Mirembe, and we did the first convention in Vancouver. Vancouver is a little pricey and expensive. We were at the downtown Sheraton, and we got burnt. We spent a bit of money. We spent over 80,000, just to put something of that magnitude in Vancouver, 2012. What was so special for me yesterday, Justice introduced me to someone who came at that convention here in this hotel, who owns a car dealership now in Toronto, way richer than I am, but I'm glad that I was part of that journey that brought him here. So we've done this, 2012, we took a break. Justice works for the federal government of Canada. Jeff works as a doctor here, medical field. And I reached out to them, we did 2018, 2019, 2020, we took a sabbatical because of what happened with COVID. You all know the story. Why do I share that? I just wanted to tell you that this is a labor of love. We spend money, and sometimes politics comes in the way. That aside, I would like, in a special way, to recognize Ambassador Joy Ruth Chen. She's approachable. You might say what you want. I have reached out to her and the Deputy High Commissioner, Kyogire, and they know the problems we face. They know we are not funded. Last year, but one, I believe, 2019, there was a huge rumor we had received $70,000. We had not even got anything like that. So to Balaam's point, I appreciate what you've said. Some of the people putting up shows today, we help bring into the country in terms of getting them the visas, but we're not going to get into fighting matches. For me, I feel the content and what I've benefited in terms of what people have said is amazing. I'll give you an example. This is a testimony, and I know I'll be crucified on social media. When we did 2018, we applied a visa for the new president, and he got it. And I didn't hear any complaint from the embassy. 2019, we had a team that felt they wanted to bring Baby Cool because Baby Cool's music was popular. I didn't have a say in that. And then we had a boycott of some sort. And I said, but if the government, the speaker, and the vice president, and the people who came could be in the same room with the Eddie Aways and other people we invited, including the new president, now, who was then an MP, without any problem, why can't we reciprocate? You get it? That same energy, she's told us she's UPC, but I'm mentioning this to you because we've applied for visas for these people and they've got them. But we're not political, we're not about that. We're about building the community. I feel sad that we have someone responsible for World Remit Canada-wide come in our midst, sit from 9 to 1, and then you have people still politicizing over petty stuff. And I think that is one of the things that is going to basically keep us behind. So again, 2012, we're here 2020, people will put up things to try and make you fail. But I think if your conviction is right, I thank my spiritual advisor who will come and rap here and pray. I reach out to Pastor Jumba. I say, you know what, sometimes we feel like giving up because the resistance in terms of people, I just wish the ambassador could come and, I talk to them, but it's like, where is the money they're talking about that we receive this money and then we come and we do this and the other? We rely on sponsorship and we rely on people's registrations on Eventbrite. So again, this is all just to tell you what really happens. I think you also can reach out to some of these people. We've been advertising these events way ahead of time. When the hotel, because they don't give refunds, deferred our event to October, because they told us Canada was locked up in July, our event is primarily in July. We just say, once it opens, let us know. They reached out to us when things open. They put very strict COVID protocols in place. They told us, shared with us what the Ontario government was all about in terms of making sure we should have this event under strict COVID guidelines. That's what we've done. We have people like Shabir flying. We have immigration sending a team that I'm going to hand over to Pastor Jumba to help with national IDs. I reached out to the immigration director, and people are getting the services they need because as a community organizer, I've been had people reaching out, telling me they've been pulled off planes for going home without a visa to Uganda, and they claim they're Ugandans, but they have not read the information on the website. So is that our fault or the embassy fault? So I think since we come to these countries and most of these things are online, let's take time to read. Let's take time to engage the embassy. When we die, God forbid, We take our loved ones back to Uganda. Many of them want to be buried there. But you need a relationship with the ambassador and the embassy, because they will be the one to sign off that document to repatriate you back home. So as long as you've had a passport for Uganda or have a business and a family back home, I'm not trying to say change your political affiliation, but let's just be civil. I call it civility. That is what it takes. So again, to your point, they are valid, but again, I've told you what I've told you. It's the truth. We did it 2018. Baby Cool, we did it for Bobby Wine, we did it for area where we've done it in terms of processing the visas. But the disunity and how this whole politics just comes up, I can't talk for that, because I'm not about, getting into that kind of, it becomes noise. So with that, I would like to thank each and everyone, especially the online audience, Diaspora Television, Mr. Kalunji, the sound engineer for this event, Pastor Eddie Jumba, our keynote, that was powerful. The country director, World Remit, we appreciate your presence. Please come again. Just to let you know, we were also live on BBS. They had to cut away to go into news, but that's over 2 million Ugandans watching what you guys did and said here. So with that, I would like to thank you, and please come tomorrow. Come for the church service. Let's support Pastor Eddie Jumba from 10 tomorrow to 1. Come for the dinner at 6. Keep time, because at the end of the day, we have a 3-course meal, fully paid for. We just want to make sure you guys can come enjoy. We have Gloria, the kids who won East Africa's Got Talent performing. We have musicians, a DJ who is the best in DC, who came all the way to be part of this. We have a boat cruise that we are late for, but you guys need to quickly go and be a part of that. All white affair. We're about celebration. It's been a tough year. COVID has affected all of us in one way or the other. I lost a brother-in-law who owned a tour company in very, very simple terms. And that's why I became part of the Oxygen Concentrator campaign, because you might think you have your life until you don't have it, if I might use that. So support all these initiatives. And again, for the community members that are out there, we come to you in love. Judge us based on the content of what we've done, not of what you hear. And if you have a problem, there was a tape that circulated in the community. Someone was saying how people were being charged $7 million to just even process visas. We've never done anything like that. But we would hear these rumors. We just ask for a registration, and that's how we pay for the hotel. We don't, and we negotiate rates. Their rates here like $299. You're paying $137 USD, which is 177 Canadian, in the center of Toronto. You can't get that this weekend. The hotel is sold out. If you wanted to get a room here today, you can't. But it takes a certain level of negotiation to do that. Jeff, come and wrap it up. But I felt for purposes of, we put in a lot of time. We've brought a lot of Ugandans here in the course of the last 4 years that have benefited from this event, that have become citizens, that have gone to school. I was speaking to Mr. Opio Lawyer, who is now the president, believe it or not, of Webster University. I think it's somewhere in London. West what? Western University. A Ugandan, Mr. Opio Lawyer, is now the president of Western University. I'd invited him to come and speak about opportunities in education. But that is how many of them, you're not going to find them in these types of environments, because again, when I speak to them, they're like, the divisions deter them. But if you didn't know, the columnist for New Vision, who is also has been heading the public school system in your county, is now a president, associate president of Western University here in Canada. And that is an achievement and an accomplishment for us. I'd invited the citizenship judge, one of the 5 citizenship judges of Canada, who is black. The first black woman is going to be at the dinner tomorrow because of the kind of caliber of people we have. She's one of the 5 federal judges who swears in people here. And God has given us favor with all these people to be able to reach out to them and talk to them and get to fast track some of your citizenship challenges. But we can't progress when people are just pulling us down constantly and also accusing us of money we've not seen. So, Madam Ambassador, I pledge my support. We need the support, but we are even afraid to take your money because when we take it, then we are NRM, as you've heard it. And when we don't take it, we are still NRM because you have appeared here. So I don't know what I should do, but Jeff, wrap it.
Thank you, Ronnie. There is a Luganda saying that goes, "Akudira muluyimba musumba lugwayo lutya taluwomya." So if I decide to repeat what Ronnie has said, I may spoil it. Okay, so Your Excellencies, Madame Joy Ruth Cheng, I cannot thank you enough. Every time we call upon you, you always show up with the entire team. We don't take that lightly. To all our participants out there that actually made it here, it's been a lot of challenges for us to get to where we are today. And to all our esteemed sponsors, thank you. I don't know how to thank you enough, but I think you've done great. Amidst all the challenges of COVID, the lives lost, and moving across, people coming together. There's a lot of our people that actually apply for visas but did not get them in time. Actually, some of them, their passports are still at the embassy. No responses yet. So all those challenges, to come and make an event of this magnitude is not simple. So it's a lot that we put in here to get to where we are, but we thank you and thank you for the support. Now, for the other things that are going to be happening today, thank you. We've come to the end of this segment now, and we'll be moving out. If you have any other questions, actually, it would be the vendors outside there. You can meet them one-on-one, and they can answer any questions that you may have. At 2:30, we have a boat cruise for those that want to go and enjoy themselves a little bit. We're going to be sailing across we'll be at Pier 11 Polson Pier. That's where we'll be docking. So we'll be leaving at 2:30. Please keep time. And we'll be docking back at 7:30 p.m. And tomorrow we'll have an interdenominational service led by Pastor Jumba starting at 10 o'clock. And we'll be going until 1 o'clock. And then at dinner, come one, come all. It will be starting at 6 o'clock with a lot of entertainment. And of course, nothing but the keynote speech by Dr. Pierre Lumumba and also honoring Dr. Shaka Sali. For everything else, I just had one comment actually to the real estate people that presented here today. I'm just going to, it's a very brief. I forgot to ask you this. The thing is, and we may continue about this.
This is Diaspora TV, your #1 global network.
All the responses I've been getting on my phone, they're circling around the interest rates. And then there are people going bankrupt and everything because of the interest rate. They are ridiculous. They are super through the roof. Ladies and gentlemen, I will ask Pastor Jumba, but he will soon be a doctor anyways, to just give us the last blessing as we leave this place and then continue for the festivities of the weekend. Enjoy happy Thanksgiving, happy Independence Day. Enjoy the festivity with your families. For those that have families in Toronto, enjoy yourself to the fullest extent, and we will be meeting at the boat cruise, at the church service, and at the dinner. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Sir Jeff. I will end at the same place where I started. If you're able to stand, may you raise. All I've been asked to do here is to do the final blessing. And this is how I'm going to do this. If you're not too far from a physical human person, turn to somebody, look them in the face, look them in the eye, and you're going to wish them peace. We live in times where people curse each other more than they bless each other. Madam Chojire, it is true that we sometimes, unless we're intentional, we curse each other more than we bless each other. So this is a moment for you. If you hadn't blessed anybody since you came here intentionally, this is how we are doing our final blessing. And now that we have done that, I also want to remind you where we started from. The Bible says in Romans 12:15 that rejoice with those that are rejoicing, but also grieve and mourn with those that are mourning. It is impossible to say that we don't have things to be thankful for. It doesn't even matter what religion you're from. It's not possible to say that we don't have things to be grateful for, especially if you're still able to catch the next breath. I'm a chaplain in one of the biggest hospital network here. It's called Scarborough Health Network. And I spend some of my time there, just really visiting patients and counseling and doing therapy. And sometimes it's not easy to take in what you see, but by the grace of God, we're able to take what we see. So for me, when I say, if you're able to catch the next breath, count that as a blessing, count that as a gift, I truly mean that. It's not some cliche that pastors say. So on that, I am grateful for all of you that are here. And I do catch sometimes the energy that is low when you look at the challenges that my brothers have to go through to put together something like this. But if you're here, if you came today, you are doing something commendable. If you came. So that comment, those messages about the struggles, those are about the people who did not come. If you're here today, you're doing something commendable, and I want to commend you, and I want to celebrate you as I bless you as we go. Let's see, did I miss anything? My brother Moses, we want, on behalf of the church, we want you to know that we will do whatever it takes within our means to be gladly part of the oxygen concentrator project. We'll gladly be able to participate, and we'll talk more about that. And on that note, I want also to celebrate the leadership that I serve with. As you see, every time they talk about Dominion Church, they say Pastor Eddie Jomba. But the truth is, it's not just Pastor Eddie Jomba. Truly, that's not just our statement. It is the many people, some of them are actually here, that cause me to shine the way I shine. So the people that I serve with, I call them servant leaders, because that's the model we use. We serve the people we lead. We don't do anything else. We serve the people we lead. I commend you, and I pray God's blessing on you. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you, truly thank you for everything that has transpired here today. In a particular way, Lord, I thank you for every person that you have used and you're continuing to use to be a blessing to this community, to this family. I pray a special blessing back onto them. Lord, in a special way, those among us that are struggling with all different kinds of issues, physical issues, financial issues, emotional issues, spiritual issues. Lord, I commit them into your hands in a special way, even as we do the final blessing. That they will experience your intangible presence as they go. May they be reminded that they are not walking this by themselves. May you continue to raise people around them that are going to commit to being a blessing to them. And I dedicate the rest of the program into your hands, trusting that your name at the end of the day, regardless and amidst the waves and the circumstances that we are swimming through, your name will be glorified and somebody will leave a better person than they came. But I bless you and I thank you. And I thank you for all those that are continuing to stick to positivity. And I pray that you continue to cultivate that heart that continues to celebrate positivity. And I pray for one accord, I pray for unity, and above all, I pray for your peace to be upon your people, even tonight as we go. May all of you, as we take in this moment and reflect on the words we've had today, may every single one of us be a beneficiary from that seed that has been planted today. We pray all this with thanksgiving in our hearts as we celebrate Uganda, as we celebrate all the blessings that Uganda as a nation has seen through these 59 years of being independent. We thank you and we continue to pray for even more and more opening of doors as a nation, as a family, even more so as individuals. In the name of Jesus Christ we have prayed. Amen and amen. God be with all of you, and may you continue to be a positive example in the life of your neighbor. And God bless you as you do that. Love you so much.
This is Diaspora TV, your #1 global network.